everyone, I'm here to do a bookshelf tour, and I'm filming my intro on my iPhone today. It's a little something different, just seeing how the video quality on this thing is, so maybe I can do more videos on this, like about my booking stuff when I have things I want to show you without having to take them all off my shelves. So, yeah, I hope you all enjoy the video, and I'll see you later at the end. Bye. This is the overview of my first bookshelf. It's actually a DVD rack, as you can see, so, yep. I keep my mass-produced paperback copies on this shelf because they're shorter, so it just fits better. But anyways, first we have Immortal Sins by Amanda Ashley, and I've read that, and it was really good. And we have High Cotton by Sherry Daly, and ignore the missing cover. It was my mom's, so I have no idea what she did to it, but obviously it was bad. Hannibal Rising by Thomas Harris, which I have not read yet. And we have Jack Ketchum's Off Season, which I have read, and it's really good. And we have Jack Ketchum's She Wakes, and that's also a really good book by him. And then I have a bunch of Stephen King that I bought all together, so I haven't read a lot of it yet, but plan to. We have Stephen King's Bag of Bones, and Stephen King's The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which was a really good one. And this is my favorite movie by Stephen King, so I'm sure I like the book. Stephen King's It. And we have Dreamcatcher by Stephen King, which is also a really good one. And we have Stephen King's The Shining, which I was reading, and for some reason, I just can't get that into it, but I'm going to try again later. And we have some high fantasy novels, such as Wolf Blade by William King, and it's really good. And I still haven't read this, but I have George R. Martin's Game of Thrones, and I want to read this, but I don't know. I got about that far in, and I'm not getting into that one either for some reason. And then I have Hamlet, which is upside down, but Hamlet by William Shakespeare. And then I have The Ruins by Scott Smith, which was really good, and nothing like the movie, by the way, at all. Then down here, I just have my children's Bible from when I was little, and I have Bobby Brown's Living Beauty, and I got that at a used bookstore for $4. Yep, so that was awesome. And I have About Face by Scott Barnes, which is another makeup book. And then I have The World's Best Kept Beauty Secrets, which was my mother's. And it's funny because a lot of things in here are completely irrelevant now, so I don't know why I still keep it. But that's by Diane Ross. And then I have a comedy book, How to Take Over the World, a Can I Has Cheeseburger book, and it's the Cats one. I love it. And then I have the Walking Dead Compendium 1, because I love that show, and I love the comics even more, because they're just so awesomely written, I can't even explain it. And then we have the Walking Dead Compendium 2. And then I have the Walking Dead Volume 17, Something to Fear, and I plan on getting the next one, because it just came out, and I'm super excited. And then we have Stephen King's Doomy up top, because it won't fit on any of my other bookshelves because I have too many books. And then we have Rocker Ducky, because he's awesome. And I have Remember Me by Christopher Pike, and Christopher Pike is one of my favorite authors, and his books are just, can't even explain to you how awesome they are. And then we have Keep Sweet by, wow, what's her name? Michelle, I'm going to totally butcher her middle name, so Michelle Green. It's by Michelle Green, not even attempt that middle name. Then I have Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, and I love the artwork in this one. It's just awesome. It's gothic artwork, and I think it's beautiful. And then I have Freedom by Milka Alfriker. I have no idea. And it's a true story, and I have not read it yet, but it's supposed to be really good. Then I have Tanya French's In the Woods, and it was awesome. And then I have The Dark and Hollow Places by Carrie Ryan, and I have The Forest of Hands and Teeth by Carrie Ryan, and both of those were really good also. Then I have Rot and Ruin without the dust jacket, because 15-year-old me sucks. That's basically it. And then I have Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea, which is one of my favorite classics just ever. So I will bring you to my next bookshelf. We have George Orwell's 1984, and then we have Carmony's 5-Minute Face, and that book really sucks, by the way, so don't buy it. And The Alchemist's Daughter, which I have not read yet, but I plan to. And we have Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, which is a really funny book, and kind of sad at the same time. And that's by Matson. What's his name? Morgan Matson. And then we have The Blackbird House, which I had to read for college, and it was surprisingly really good, and that's by Alice Hoffman. And then we have Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stohl, which I still have to read, but I've seen the movie, and I didn't really like the movie, so I'm hoping the book will be a lot better. And we have Boy Proof by Cecile Castellucci, and that was a really good book. And we have Cinder by Marissa Meyer, which is a very interesting concept for a book. And my phone's going off. Awesome. And then we have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. And I own the whole Mortal Instruments series, well, at least all of it that's came out so far. And then we have City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare and City of Glass. And we have City of Fallen Angels and City of Lost Souls. And it annoys me that it's only in hardcover because I want to own the entire thing in paperback, so it matches. Apparently it's not going to happen. And then I have the Infernal Devices series, well, part of it, including Clockwork Angel and Clockwork Prince. I have Darkness Visible, a Memoir of Madness by William Stryon, which is a psychology book, and it's really good. And I have Neil Gaiman's The Graveyard Book, which is a really beautiful book, and I suggest that to everyone. It's amazingly written, and the illustrations are amazing, and just Neil Gaiman's work is beautiful, and everyone needs to at least read one. And then we have Mary Higgins Clark and Carol Higgins Clark's Deck the Halls and The Christmas Thief, which is one of the only Christmas books I own, but it's a really good one. And I have Edgar Allan Poe's Complete Tales and Poems. And this is a fat book, and it's not going to go back in. And we all know how awesome Poe is, so don't even need to tell you about that. And Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin, and it was a really interesting concept for a book, and I really enjoyed it. And then I have The Enemy by Charlie Higginson, and I have The Dead by Charlie Higginson. And over here I have The Fear by Charlie Higginson, and I have The Far Side of the World by Patrick O'Brien, and I have Feed by Myra Grant, and then I have 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James, and I got to maybe like page 20 of this and just gave up. Yep. Hopefully I can read it someday. And then I have Stephen King's Four Past Midnight, which I need to read because, I mean, I loved this book, Stephen King's Full Dark No Stars, so I'm guessing I'll love his other short stories also. And we have Generation Dead by Daniel Waters, and I'm sad because I couldn't get the sticker off, and I want it off. And then I have Girl Interrupted by Susanna Kazin, and this is an amazing book, and I suggest it to everyone that's either interested in psychology or wants to become a psychologist like I do. And we have Girl Parts by John M. Cusick, which is a really interesting concept and really funny book. And we have a really beat-up copy of John Gardner's Grendel. And yes, I may or may not have not given my high school this book back. But it was good, you know. They're not missing it. It's beat up anyways. Then I have Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. And look how pretty that cover is. It's just, hold it up. It's so pretty. I love it. And then we have a book my mom gave me as a joke because I have a Chihuahua and has a really bitchy personality, and it's High Maintenance Bitch. It's not about being a dog, it's about being a bitch. And this is by Lori Pacino and Ryan Pacino, and it's really funny. And I have The Host by Stephanie Meyer. And I have Hush Hush, the graphic novel, and by Becca Fitzpatrick, and I hope she comes out with more because I really enjoyed. And I have Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. And then I have Silence. And then I have Crescendo, Finale, and I have Into the Wild by John Krakauer. No idea how to pronounce that. I read half and I don't know. I couldn't find it very interesting for some reason. Everyone says it's good, but I just can't get into it. And I have Isaac Asimov, iRobot, the iRobot series. Not totally sure how to pronounce his name. But I started reading this and then I got into another book, but I'm going to finish it because it's actually pretty good. And my friend gave it to me, so I kind of have to return it to him. And I have Leviathan by Scott Westerfield, and that was a really good book. And I have Looking for Alaska by John Green, and this is one of my favorite books. It's beautifully written, I love the plot, it's very sad, but it's a really good book. And I have The Maze Runner by James Dashner, which is also a really good book, and I should probably read the other ones. And I have Malice by Christopher Wooding, and I basically just got this for the cover because, I mean, it's cool looking in 3D, and it was $2, so why not? I have no idea what it's about, but I know there's comics in it, so I know I'm going to like it. And I have Mercury Under My Tongue by Sylvain Trudel, and I've not read that yet, but it's supposed to be really sad, so I don't even know if I want to. And I have Miss Pingree's Home for Peculiar Children, and that is by Ransom Riggs, and it's a really good book. First off, I'm going to put this book to the side because my bookshelf is stuffed, but it's Elie Wiesel's Night, and it's beautifully written, and it's about the time where the Nazis were and that period of time, and it's really good. And I have Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and that's a really beautiful book also. And I have Room by Emma Donoghue, and it's really sad, but it's a really good book, and I suggest everyone read it. And Running with Scissors by Augustine Burroughs, and that book is hilarious, so I suggest that to everyone also. And then a classic, well not really, but well I guess it could be considered a classic, The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd, and that's a really good book and really inspiring, and I just really recommend everyone read it. And then I have the Wolves of Mercy's Falls series, and I have Shiver, and I have Linger, that I can't pull out because it's stuck. But they are by Maggie Stiefvater. I have no idea how to pronounce that last name, but the books are really good. And then I have Sisters Red, and that is by Jackson Pierce, and I plan on reading that. I just got it, so hopefully I can read that soon. And then I have The Sociopath Next Door by Martha Stout, and it sounded really interesting, and since I want to get into psychology, figured might as well read it. And I have Stardust by Joseph Cannon, and I haven't read that one yet. I got it a while ago. Not sure why I haven't read it yet, but I just haven't. And I have Squirrel Seeks Chickmunk by David Sedaris, and this book is hilarious. I'm going to show you something inside of it. It has really cute imagery, and it's really graphic, and it has a lot of kind of graphic parts in it, but it's really funny, and it's really sadistic in some parts, but it's good. And I have The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, and Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley, and it's a Flavin de la... a Flavin Deleuze mystery, and it was actually really good. My mom bought it for me, and I was unsure at first because it was from basically the kids section, so I didn't know, but it's pretty good. And I have the Thirst series with book number 1, which includes Human Urges, Fatal Consequences, and that's by Christopher Pike. And then I have book number 2, which includes Deepest Desires and Instant Remorse. And book number 3, which is The Eternal Dawn. And it includes books Reckless Behavior and Endless Pursuit. And book 4 includes Tortured Soul and Final Judgment. And these are all separate books, but these are bind-ups of them. And Thirst number 5, The Sacred Veil, includes Ancient Secrets and Epic Retribution. It's one of my favorite series. It's a really good one, and I recommend it to everyone. And then we have Scott Westerfeld's The Uglies and The Pretties, and I have not got the specials yet, and I really probably should. Then I have The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by, what's her name? By Michelle Hodgkin. And that was a really good book, and I can't wait for the third one to come out. I have the other one on my e-reader. And I have Unwind by Neal Shusterman, and it was okay. It's more hyped up than anything, but it was okay. I didn't really like it that much. Then I have The Complete, Revamped, The Vampire Book, The Encyclopedia of the Undead, and that's by George Melton, and I was obsessed with vampires when I was between the ages of, well, I still am, let's not lie, I still am. And I haven't read it yet, but I probably should, because it's giant. It'll probably be interesting. And lastly, I have Meg Cabot's Vanished, which is books 1 and 2, When Lightning Strikes, and Codename Cassandra. And that was a really good book. This is an overview of the books that I don't have on my shelf because I have them next to my bed, so when I'm being lazy and don't want to walk to my shelf, I have something to read. I am currently reading The Beast of Nor by Janet Lee Carey, and it's a really good book. It's high fantasy, and I really like it. And I have Alexandre Dumas, The Count of Monte Cristo, and my hands are shaking really bad, I apologize. But I started reading that, and so far it's pretty good. I got that far in, and then the size of the book made me panic, so I stopped. Should probably continue again. And I have The Enclave by Karen Hancock, which I bought it thinking it was a different book than it was, if that makes sense, with a similar name, and found the writing huge like that, which really annoys me. So I'm trying to get through it. I'm about that far in. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. And then I have Life of Pi by Yann Martel, and I absolutely love the movie, and when I got that far into the book, I just couldn't do it. There was too much religion in it, and I don't know, it's just not my thing. Not my thing. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like it, I can do more videos like this with books. This is just kind of like a trial thing. I don't really know if people are going to like it or not, but I hope they do, because I like it. So I will see you all later. Bye.